Welcome to this edition of On the Scene. I'm your host, Tim Kelly. On today's program, we're talking about the Great American Cleanup and a very unique recycling drive that you can take part of to help make Suffolk a cleaner, greener place to be. Stay tuned. Welcome back to On the Scene. We're joined now by Wayne Jones, Litter Control Coordinator with the City of Suffolk. Wayne, thanks for being with us today.
Hey, Tim, thank you.
Well, you know, spring is here, or just on the cusp of being here, but and that's a great time that people start thinking about maybe cleaning up their things, kind of getting rid of some of the old, bringing in the new or whatever.
Yep.
And you have a unique opportunity that's coming up.
We do.
Great American Cleanup.
Yes.
And there's a recycling drive and a whole bunch of things happening. So
yes.
Tell us a little bit about what's going on, what people can do, and how they can take part.
Yep, so like you say, spring's a great time of year to start freshening the place up, not just your yard, but if you want to get out and help in your community, now's a great time. The Great American Cleanup is a national campaign. It's actually ran through Keep America Beautiful, of which we're an affiliate here in Suffolk. And basically what it enables people to do is come to me. I can provide them with litter grabbers, bags, gloves, safety vests. So if they want to go out and clean up their street, or there's an area, you know, around their neighborhood that they'd like to clean up, it's got some trash, they can borrow the equipment. It's totally free. They can come in, get the equipment, go and do their cleanup. They get all the bags together, and we'll pick it up for them. Our refuse crews, they'll come out the next day or the next week, pick up the bags. You return the equipment, and you know your community looks better. And it's, like I say, it's totally free and it's available to everyone.
Now I know that, and I'm just putting a plug in here, but I know we've got high school graduations coming up soon, and Suffolk Public Schools has volunteer hours that they would want their seniors to have by the time they graduate. It's a great opportunity here, right?
It really is, yeah. In fact, I've actually already been contacted by some, some high school students ahead of the game, looking to get their hours done, so it's not that last minute. But I've got plenty of places. There's plenty of places around Suffolk. It's such a large city, landmass. We can find some nice safe spots for our high school kids to get out there, get some community hours in. And there's nothing greater than doing it. You know, there's nothing more, therapeutic, instant gratification for going out there and cleaning up a spot. You know, a nice before and after picture shows, just how much trash you can get up in a few hours, and you can get your hours done. I'll give you a certificate or whatever you might need to prove to your school that you've done your hours. And it's a great way to get your hours in.
Now, it doesn't, I know you certainly would encourage neighborhoods or community groups or whatever to pull together, because that way they have a lot of resources. But you can also place or help individuals that perhaps are coming to you with the same thing. I know you prefer the group, but you can do the individuals too, right?
Yeah. If you're an individual and you just want to make a difference, absolutely come in and we'll support you with the equipment too. But what we can also give you is we have some team up to clean up yard signage that we've designed. It's actually geared towards the person that might not know people in their neighborhood, might want to rally the neighborhoods that they don't know, and they can put the yard signage in their yard or at the site that they want to do the cleanup. And basically it says team up to clean up, litter hits close to home, and it has my litter control office number. So they tell me what day and what time they're going to be doing their cleanup. And then anybody that's interested can call me and I can let them know the details, and we can put basically strangers, neighbors together, and they can work together to get the street
building communities.
Yeah, it's a great way. It's actually a great way to meet new people too, which is one of the sort of off benefits of doing cleanups. Is you meet some fantastic people, and it's actually a lot of fun. I've been on quite a few cleanups now, and it's always interesting to what you might find. It's a bit of a game sometimes. You might find some odd things, lots of plastic bottles and stuff like that, the regular things. But the people you meet and the jokes that you might share along the way is what makes it great. So,
and of course, with spring, the weather's great. It's a good time to get great time to get outside, and you kind of get a chance to take inventory, if you will, of maybe the lot that everybody's kind of ignored during the winter. That all of a sudden now you see an opportunity to really clean that up, which helps everyone. You know?
Yeah, lots of the during the winter, obviously the vegetation's down, so we actually really pay more attention to the trash. The litter that's been nestled in there and we couldn't see it when it was so much growth, but now obviously it's the vegetation's still down. So it's a great time to get in there and get it out so we can start the new year fresh and keep our city looking beautiful.
Now, you mentioned Great American Cleanup. Is there a specific day that you're targeting, or really, I know someone can really approach you year round?
Yeah, they can. They come to us all year round. Our Adopt a Street groups are constantly out there cleaning up for us, which it's a great program. But the Great American Cleanup is really launching off the year. We run it from March So we started last week.
Okay.
We've already had 2 community cleanups.
Good deal.
So it'll run from March, and then we end on June 3rd, which is Clean the Bay Day.
Got it.
That's run through the Chesapeake Bay Foundation. I'm the local coordinator here in Suffolk.
Yes.
So we end it then, which is a few months window of opportunities just to raise awareness, get people out there, church groups, civic leagues, etc., or just a lone person that wants to get out there and make a difference. We find a lot of dog owners actually when they're out walking their dogs.
That's true. Yeah.
That's you see the litter, you might see a glass bottle that's smashed, and dog owners normally approach me for a litter grabber and a bag, and they'll go out once every other month and pick up on their route where they walk their dog.
Kind of the eyes and ears of the neighborhood, if you will.
Yeah. The dog's more than happy to hang around while you pick up the trash, sniffing around.
Sure.
I do that with my dog.
Got it.
Yeah, it's good.
Now, what equipment are you talking about that you provide? I know you talk about litter grabbers, but talk a little bit about what kind of stuff you're able to provide to help people do what they do.
Right. So you come in and we'll give you a litter grabber. It's a good quality litter grabber. It picks up proper glass bottles that are filled with water. It's no problems there. It's not plastic or anything.
Yes.
And then we provide very strong orange trash bags, industrial grade, obviously. So if there's broken glass or anything, it's protective.
Yep.
Yeah. And then we also give you the safety vests.
Got it.
Which are a big hit with the little kids, because if mum or dad wants to teach their children about community involvement, it's a great way to get them out there. So we have the safety vests, so they're safe, and then we provide gloves. You can either get the hard sort of heavy duty gardening gloves we have, if that's what you like, or we have more of a disposable sort of surgical glove. It depends what you want. It's not everyone's comfortable with the surgical, and they're not comfortable with the whatever suits your needs.
Yeah.
So we provide all that equipment, and like I say, when you're finished, you just pile your bags, and we'll come pick it up. Yep, and drop the equipment back off to me, and we track how many bags of trash and how many volunteers, and that helps us to apply for grants to keep the programs running, keep the equipment updated and stuff like that. So
now, if someone, let's say for example, maybe their neighborhood is crystal clean. They don't have an issue, but yet they want to make a difference. Can you kind of maybe find an area?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you have an inventory or maybe
definitely.
things that you've heard about, right?
Yeah, we have public parks. We have the Seaboard Coastline Trail.
Yes.
We have river. A lot of river access here now in Suffolk with the kayak launches. So if you've got a kayak or a canoe and you want to get out there in the riverbanks and do some cleanups along the riverbanks, that's another great way you can get involved. So there's plenty of spaces around that we can help. Maybe you want to go to a different neighborhood and just mix with different neighbors.
Correct.
That's another great way of getting involved. We provide all the equipment.
Right.
And the river cleanups are particularly interesting. They're a lot of fun, and we are doing one for Clean the Bay Day, which is June 3rd. It's a Saturday.
Right.
So we'll be meeting at Constance Wharf in the downtown area. We're looking for canoers and kayakers mainly, because they can get right in the little nooks and crannies, the little areas where all the trash collects basically.
Right.
And we can get in there and we can get the get the litter out. It's going to be a lot of fun. Last year we had the Suffolk Police help us out.
Correct.
I'm hoping to work with them again this year, which is great. They bring their big boat and we can use that kind of as a staging craft.
Got it.
Distributing water and everything else.
Sure.
So it's 3 hours on the river and it's a really good time.
Perfect.
And if you don't have a canoe or a kayak and you still want to help Clean the Bay Day, obviously we're all part of the watershed. So any litter that's on land anyway is going to potentially make its way into the river. So we want to hit our parks and any of our other public spaces that we can get the trash before it even makes it into the river. So you haven't got to have a canoe or a kayak to be involved.
And I think that's what people forget about, that, well, obviously we want to encourage people not to litter, but when you do, you don't realize the fact that you put it here, wind, rain, other forces of nature that can push it, and next thing you know, it goes somewhere that maybe you didn't intend for it to go, and it's damaging the ecosystem or doing this or doing that, unintended consequences. But if you don't litter in the first place, it doesn't happen. But
you're absolutely right. I mean, here in Suffolk we have 3 watersheds. We've got the Chesapeake Bay one, which is most of Suffolk, and then there's the Dismal Swamp. A lot of that drains into the swamp, and then we have our Black River, so it's going out to the Sound eventually. All of it ends up in the ocean, obviously. So if we can sort of nip it in the bud, so to speak, and that involves asking people with trucks, open bed trucks, to keep them clean of litter, because it blows out. That's a common way. It's not intentional. It just happens.
Sure.
If we can get people to put their trash cans, we put them out on the street and then we bring them back in. If we're not leaving them out on the street, for days on end, when we have a heavy wind and it blows them over, and all that trash starts to disperse. I mean, these are just simple ways that people can make a difference. And obviously teaching our youngsters, our young kids, to recycle.
Yes,
yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
I do a lot of litter awareness campaigns, and to be honest, a lot of the kids are really good.
Awesome.
They're trying hard to keep that litter in the can.
Yes.
Anyway, yep.
Good. Well, now we talked about the Great American Cleanup, but you also have a very targeted event coming up in April.
Yes.
April 15th, I believe.
Yep, that's right.
And we generally see this like a couple times a year.
Yeah.
And we're talking about a recycling drive, but really these are more than just what you think would be recycled. You offer a lot of opportunities for a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Plus you partner with other groups within the community that not only are you doing the recycling, but also the food drive and some other things going on. So talk a little bit about what's coming up on April the 15th.
Absolutely.
And where it's going to be as well.
Okay. Like you say, it's a recycling drive. We actually call it the Recycling Drive and Tire Amnesty Day. But it's more than that now. We're growing it. And when I say we, it's the Suffolk Clean Community Commission.
Right.
Keep Suffolk Beautiful. They fund it. It's going to be at Lowe's in downtown. But basically, yep, you can bring all your normal recyclables, so all your plastics, your cardboards, your tin cans, the normal stuff that you can put in your blue can. You can bring that along, glass. But then we also have household hazardous waste. So if you've got old cans of paint, like I do in my shed, you can bring out up to 5 gallons, motor oil, pesticides, anything that's deemed hazardous, household hazardous waste, you can bring that out. We also have Shred It, which is really popular for your documents. If you want to shred your documents so they're nice and safe and secure, identity theft is always an issue. So that's really popular. I highly recommend bringing out your stuff for them. And then we're also partnering with the food bank, which isn't really recycling. It is in a way, we're reusing stuff that we don't possibly want to eat or have in our cupboards. So if you want to make a donation of cans or boxed like pastas, stuff like that, you can bring that out too, and they'll happily take that. And we partner with the Southeastern Food Bank, which is something that we're very happy to do, and we've continued to do for the last year. It's been really good. And this year we've brought in the Lions Club. I don't know if you're familiar with them.
No.
They're another charity, but they specialize in collecting eyeglasses.
That's right. Okay. Yes.
And the hearing aids.
Right.
And they reuse them and they give them to people that really need them, which is great. So we're looking forward to collecting for them too.
Yes.
Excuse me. So that's something we're doing new this year. Again, we hope to continue it. So to kick us off, we'd love it if people would come out and bring their eyeglasses and their hearing aids.
Sure.
And I believe they might be selling the brooms. They make brooms and they sell them to make money. So they're going to have some of those too.
Okay.
So yep. So yeah, it's more than a recycling drive. It's a community event.
That's right.
Lowe's are brilliant. They always host us.
Right.
The manager there is very supportive of what we're doing. And they also collect the power drill batteries.
Okay.
The CFL light bulbs. They're doing that year round.
Right.
So if anyone wants to recycle those batteries, I've got a couple, DIY type things.
Sure.
You can take them to Lowe's whenever you want. But yep, so that's April 15th.
Okay.
And then we'll do it again in September,
right.
on September 16th.
Perfect. Okay.
And it's always on a Saturday.
Right.
And it's from 9 to 1.
Okay.
Okay.
And again, the best thing is you're thinking, well, wait a minute, this sounds like a whole bunch of great stuff. I can kind of clean out my house, kind of get rid of the items. Ironically, you're doing it on or around tax day, which is ironic with the shredding of the documents.
Oh, that's interesting.
It just works out nicely there. But if you're trying to get rid of old tax records that you maybe have that you want to kind of to purge out of the system and do it in a way where you talk about identity theft and things we're all concerned with. But the fact that none of this stuff is going to cost you a penny.
No.
As far as you as the resident, if you come out. And it's not a limit on how many people can come. I mean.
No, more the better.
Yes.
We want it to be popular. Obviously, we want to get as many people using Shred It as we can.
Correct.
I forgot to mention Goodwill will be there, so any old electronics.
Yes.
TVs. So many of us now have phones that we've upgraded 3 or 4 times, and we've got old phones.
Right.
Bring them along. We'll recycle those too. Goodwill have a partnership with Dell Computing.
Okay.
So it's all recycled properly. If they can't resell it. So yeah, it's free, and make use of it because it's a community event.
And you mentioned Tire Amnesty, which I know is one item that people don't think about, but explain what you can do through this event with your tires.
So that's another really big part of it. Tires being dumped are a huge problem for us. In terms of mosquito control, just general look of the city.
Yes. So
we want to make it known that anybody can bring down tires, as long as they're 22 inches less in diameter, no rims.
Okay.
Bring down your tires. You need to show your Suffolk ID, so to prove that you're a resident of Suffolk.
Yep.
and we collect them and we'll send them on and they'll get recycled. We normally collect about 1,000 each drive, so we could do about 2,000 every year, but we're looking to grow that. So, you know, we're hoping to, you know, break our goal. So if we get up to 1,500 this time around, that would be great. You know, we want to get the tires out the ditches. We want them off the vacant lots. We want to get rid of them. We can cut down on the mosquitoes and everything else that goes with that.
But if you're a business, you're not looking for businesses to bring.
No, it's for residents. Yeah, everything's for residents.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, that's very important. It's all for residents only.
Okay.
So community event lineup.
Now, I know it's always amazing after you have one of these events that the numbers that come out of it. You talk about the amount of tires that you collect, but just the tonnage of other items that are collected through this thing. It's one day for, what, 4 hours, give or take? I mean,
it's 4 hours.
But it's amazing the amount of people, and I know some people will, pardon the expression, save up their stuff.
They do.
And then bring it out there because they know you're going to be there twice a year at Lowe's. I mean, just waiting for that Saturday to hit.
Look forward to it,
We have people that reach out to us in the media office, like, when is that coming up? Because they want to know to plan for that. But again, you know, you do your numbers, I mean, to report back and things, but it's great to see that the people of Suffolk do recycle.
We do,
and do look forward to these events and take advantage of it.
Yeah, the people in Suffolk are really, you know, it's growing. Recycling awareness is growing.
Yes.
You know, our numbers are up year on year, which is really good.
Right.
The shred goes, always grows. You know, we do thousands of pounds of shredding. Goodwill always collects lots of electronics, especially in the April drive after Christmas. People wait. Excuse me. That's another one that grows. I mean, they all do really. And like you say, people are really interested in recycling. It's a great way to help the environment, and it creates a lot of jobs too.
Yes, it does.
You know, it creates a whole new industry. You know, drivers, the people that work at the recycling facilities, the people that come out to our events year on year, the vendors, I mean, the people that come out, they're all passionate about what they do. They're very helpful. Roger Fournier is our Goodwill associate. He's brilliant. He's so knowledgeable. And he's a real pleasure to work with, along with Shred It and the HHW guys that we've just started working with from SIPSA. They're very knowledgeable too. So if you actually want information, it's another great way to come on down and quiz these people because they're experts in their field. So for mosquitoes, for example, Mosquito Control will be on site. They'll be giving out the dunks if you have the ID. And you can ask them questions about mosquitoes, how you can reduce that in your yards. And like I say, they're experts in their field, and they're more than happy to give you their knowledge.
And you talked about the tires and its connection with mosquito control. People think, well, what the heck? But it's the fact that if you have a tire sitting there on the side of the road or yard or whatever, water collects in there, and that
doesn't get out.
You're going to offer a breeding ground for mosquitoes because it's stagnant water just sitting there.
I mean, they can speak to it more than I can. But as far as I know, it takes like 5 days is all for a mosquito egg to hatch. And tires, they just design that way so the water collects and it's impossible. I mean, you know, I mean, if you've got a tire up, it's always got water in it. It could be dry for 2 weeks and it doesn't have water in it. But yeah, so like 5 days from egg to mosquito. And it's important just to get it out. If you're not going to make that tire swing, then get rid of it.
And even if you do, you still want to monitor to make sure the water's getting out of there.
Yeah, you might want the dunks.
Right.
You know, and any other kind of object in your yard, you know, from an upside down frisbee to an empty beer can, anything that has water in it, it doesn't take much. And you can be breeding a whole nation of mosquitoes. So we want to get that out. You know, it's no good for anybody.
Now, Wayne, one other thing that you mentioned, the Suffolk Clean Community Commission. Talk about what role that organization plays with helping you and the city stay clean and green, if you will.
Sure, yeah. They are one of our commissions that made up of residents. It's city appointed, council appointed. They meet once a month on a Monday for a few hours, and they discuss what they can do to help drive, you know, cleaner community. And the recycling drive is what they do. So they do 2 of those. They also help support the Adopt program with equipment from their budget, which again is really important. We picked up over 1,000 bags of trash last year. And that's incredible. So they're always looking for ways to tweak it, to grow it, to raise more awareness of it. So if anyone's interested in volunteering, to be on the commission, because it is a volunteering post, they can contact me or you, and we'll put them in touch. And they need to, you know, approach their city councillor, which we can help them with, and they can join the commission. And maybe they've got ideas. You know, it's not stagnant. We're always looking to diversify. You know, there's a younger crowd out there. They're on smartphones, etc.
That's right, yeah.
So we're looking for younger people too.
Okay.
Anybody that's interested. Maybe you're good at education outreach and you'd like to go to our events and talk to people. Maybe you want to get involved in river cleanups. Maybe you want to lead a cleanup. Or maybe you're interested in recycling.
Right.
I don't know, pollinator gardens. Anything that involves litter prevention, recycling, or beautification.
All covered there, yeah.
Yep.
And we appreciate the men and women who do volunteer their time and efforts through the Clean Community Commission, as well as any volunteer efforts as far as throughout the city of Suffolk, the opportunities that you and some of the organizations you partner with provide, again, to make the city, a lot cleaner.
Yep.
And again, it promotes, community activism and people getting involved, getting to know one another. You talk about the social aspect of it. People don't think about that, but it's a great way to get to know your neighbors, and everybody's working for that common cause.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, there's money, which is currency, but there's also other types of currency.
That's right.
And you get to learn, which
Yes.
is one type, meet new people, which is fantastic, and you get to help out.
Yeah.
And these are all great things to do. It's very rewarding.
Perfect. Well, Wayne, before we close, I want to give you an opportunity. What is your phone number, and how can people get a hold of you if they want more information, would like to volunteer, or just kind of find out maybe what opportunities you have?
Certainly. Well, obviously they can contact you if
Yes.
you need to. But for me, Litter Control Office,
Okay.
514-7604, or Litter Control at suffolkva.us.
Perfect. Okay, great.
Thank you.
Wayne, thanks for spending time with us
Thank you very
talking
much.
today. Again, looking forward to a very busy spring. Sounds like you got a lot of
Yep.
things happening, and hoping to have more things if people will get out there and volunteer and help you kind of spread your wings throughout
Yeah.
the city of Suffolk. You talked
Please.
about how big we are
Yeah.
and how much land we have, which means, unfortunately, when you have a lot of land, you have the potential for a lot of trash.
We do, yeah.
We want to get that stuff cleaned up
Yep.
and make our community a little bit brighter.
That'd be great. Yeah, it's a great place to live, and anything we can do to help.
Very good. Well, Wayne, again, thanks for your time
Thank you
today.
very much.
Appreciate it. That will do it for this edition of On the Scene. I'm your host, Tim Kelly. We'll see you next time.